Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to attach the head to your Bobble Buddy when you need to attach it to the body. So to get started, you're going to want some straight pins. I'm not sure how big these ones are, but they fit across my hand. So they're straight. And then you're going to want an embroidery needle. This one doesn't need to be threaded here. So to get started, you can pin all the way around the head. What I like to do is just pin in the front. So I take 2 pins and I'll cross them across the front. I start right over here in about the middle of the arm. And then I put it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 to 4 rows up from the middle of the bottom of the head. And I'm just going to slide that in and go across the head. What I'm trying to do here is make sure that the front of my head is centered with the front of my body, so that when I go around the back, I know that even though I can't see the front, it's going to stay centered. So then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side so that my pins are making an X across the front. So I'll hold this up here so you can see it a little bit better. It may be useful for me to put one more in that middle section there, but you can see how that kind of holds the front so that it's going to remain centered. All right, then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to find my leftover yarn that I left for when I closed off the body. I'll thread my needle. And then I'm just going to start going around from the back to the front. So I kind of pull the body up just a little bit so that I'm going around that maybe third-ish row. I'll find a stitch to go around, and you're just going to whip stitch all the way around. So you'll go into the head and then back into the body. And just kind of, it takes some practice, but you just have to kind of try to stay along a circle on the bottom of the head. And you'll turn as you go. Look out for those pins. They can stick you as you go around. So you can see as I'm coming around to the front, my pins are there, and that ensures that it held as I was going around. So I'm going to take this pin out now so that I can stitch there. It's hard to get your needle to go through both the head and the body at the same time. If you need to go through one and then pick it up and go through the other, you can do that. Along the front, I kind of want to pull the front of this body out as I go so that it's not collapsing in on itself. So I'm going to pull forward so that I continue to go around that circle as I go. One more in here. So then once I get to what I think is the center stitch, I generally will stop there just to make sure that it looks centered to me. So I'll stop here. You can see the center of my body is lined up with the center of my bunny's nose. So if it looks like it's off center to me, then I'll stop and I'll pull the whole thing out there so that I don't have to, go all the way around the head and then start back over. But it looks centered, so I'll keep going. Once I get to this pin over here, I'll pull this one out. And then I'll turn to start going back around the back. As you go back around the back, you can kind of see what circle you should be going along, where your stitches should be going. You want to get all the way back around to the first stitch. And then once you get to this point, you could tie off and just weave in your ends. I like to go back around just to make sure that the head is on very secure. The second time around, it doesn't so much matter where the placement of your stitches are because your head is already centered. So I just kind of pick a few to go back around in. You can also, if things are a little bit off center, you can sometimes fix them as you go back around. If it's pretty far off center, then the second time around won't be able to fix it, but you can reposition a little bit if you need to. So then once you get back around to the back, you'll just tie off there at the back of the head and weave in those ends. I'm going to wait to do that, but then you can lay your bunny flat, fix up the arms, and then everything should be centered and done.